Welcome to The Soft Life with me, Candy Washington, where we explore all things self-love, manifestations, and relationships with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. So be sure to subscribe, share, and join us on Patreon. Hello, everyone. As always, I'm Candy Washington, and I cannot wait to help you lead a more joyful life. So today we are just going to do a Ask Me Anything regarding self-love, self-care, living a softer life, self-esteem, confidence, relationships, manifestations, really whatever you guys have questions on or anything that you guys want guidance on regarding any of those topics. So, to first kick off, I thought it would be good to do a quick meditation just to ground ourselves into this session together. So, just get comfortable. You can close your eyes if you want, you can keep your eyes open if you want, however, you want to experience this. So, I'm going to close my eyes and guide us through it. And just breathe in for 4. And just hold that deep breath in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's release for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just get really grounded. And just do a deep breath in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then hold it at the top and go at your own pace. If your pace is slower, that's fine. If your pace is a little faster, that's fine. Just go at your own pace and just hold that breath in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just release that breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just get really present, get really grounded. Release and let go of anything you have to do for the day. Any thoughts that are rambling in your mind, lovingly just let them go. And just settle into this moment. And just breathe in this affirmation. I am worthy. And breathe out. And I let go. Let that out. Breathe in. I am worthy. Hold. And breathe out. I let go. Let that go. Breathe in. I am open to loving myself. Breathe that in. I am open to loving myself. Hold that. And then let that go. I release and let go. All right. Now, you guys, from this place, let's dive in. So I also have a couple of journal prompts and quotes and affirmations that I want to share to start us off. And as we go through this, any questions or comments that you have, put it down in the chat box down below, and I will answer any of your questions or comments about self-love, self-care, a soft life, relationships, manifestations, anything. Feel free just to ask it down below. But I also want to share a very powerful journal prompt when it comes to self-love, which is, where am I saying yes when I would really like to say no? Get out your journal, not now, but when we're done, get out your journal, write that question on the top of your page, and then just let your consciousness flow. Let whatever comes up flow. When you get really centered within yourself, just ask yourself, where am I saying yes when I would really like to say no? And what comes up from that will show you where you need to create better boundaries, whether it's with yourself, whether it's with your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, your family, your coworkers, strangers. It's going to show you where you are overextending yourself, where you are abandoning yourself in order to make other people happy, or in order to make other people feel comfortable, or just when you are not honoring truly what you want and who you are. So where are you saying yes? Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can show up. Yes, I can be there. when you really don't want to. And a part of this I want to remind us is that just not feeling like it is enough. I was actually doing a podcast episode with this great woman. Her name's Taylor Elise Morrison. That episode's coming out soon. And we were talking about that sometimes we feel like we have to make an excuse to say no to someone. Like, oh, no, I can't because I have to do this. No, I can't because I have to go there. No, I can't because, X, Y, and Z. When the truth is, just not wanting to do something, just not feeling like it is okay. And that is enough. Just honoring how you feel, just honoring who you are, just honoring, what feels right to you is enough. So don't forget that. Don't forget that you just not wanting to do something is okay. And you have the right to say no. Now I'll share a really great affirmation that is really powerful for self-love. And that is, I am worthy and deserving of my own love. Like, just sit with that. Just breathe that in. I am worthy and I am deserving of my own love. Sometimes we get fixated on trying to get other people to love us or giving our love to other people. I have to get him to love me. I have to get her to pick me. I have to get these people to love me in order to feel lovable. Or I have to give all my love to my kids or to my boyfriend, to my husband, to my wife. I have to give, 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 give. When we forget that the first person who is worthy and deserving of your love is yourself. And that nobody has to choose you or validate you or, quote, love you in order to prove your lovability. You are already worthy. You are already enough. You are already lovable. And you deserve love. Yes, you deserve other people to love you. But the first and the main person that you deserve to love you is yourself. And if you are in a point in your life where it feels hard, there's resistance, you don't believe, that you're worthy of your own love, that you're deserving of your own love, then start slow and just say, hi, everyone. Hi, Veronica. She says, I can't wait. Hey, Chocolate Chunk says, hey, everyone. And Candy Washington voice. That's right. That's right. As you guys come in, say hello and also drop your questions. I am here. I'll even drop the link if people feel comfortable coming up on camera. That's fine. If you not on camera, but just on screen, you do not have to show your face if you don't want to. But I'm here to coach you guys. If you guys put it in the chat box down below, or you can come up and talk. But if you have any questions on self-love, self-care, self-worth, relationships, manifestation, life, I'm here to coach you guys for free. I coach people and they pay me a lot of money for it, but I wanted to open this up to you guys for free. So if you guys have any questions on this, drop them down in the link down below and we can talk about it. But let's get back to the affirmation, right? If saying I am worthy and deserving of my own love is too much right now, like maybe you're just not there yet, start small and you can just say, I am open to knowing my worth. I am open to learning to love myself. I am open to knowing that I deserve my own love. I am open to believing that I'm good enough to be loved. Start with just being open with it. Start with just being curious about it. I think all of us on our self-love journeys, we kind of start from a place of not even believing or knowing our own worth and our own deservability and our own lovability. I know when I used to be really codependent, and thankfully I'm not anymore, I never even really thought about, do I love myself? Like that thought never even really occurred to me. Think about how long you go throughout your life. Do you ever stop and think, am I taking care of myself? Am I loving myself? Do I love myself? Do I accept who I am? Do I approve of who I am, right? Like we kind of go our lives looking outside of us for how we should feel about who we are, instead of looking inside of ourselves, instead of turning inward and saying, how do I feel about me? How do I talk to myself? I'll give you guys a couple of, tips on this. And ask questions. Don't be shy. Put them in the chat box. I'm here for you guys. Put it down. You don't have to come up. You can just put it in the chat box. But I'll give you guys some tips on this. One, we talk about meditation. Everyone's like, oh, gotta meditate, meditate, meditate. Well, if you've never meditated in your life, or you think you don't know how to sit down and just be silent with your own thoughts, I define meditation differently. Like, I don't think, hey, cruising with Elena, how are you, sweetheart? And everybody, drop your questions down below on anything. Honestly, ask me anything. Drop it down below. I don't look at meditation as I have to sit down and clear my thoughts, not think my thoughts, sit down and be quiet, and transcend to the world and all that stuff. Oh, it's okay. Chocolate Chunks says, my hands are busy right now, so I'm just listening for now. All good. Thank you, Chocolate Chunks. Cruz Lee says, I love meditation. Need to do it more. Yes. So let's talk about meditation. So the way I define meditation, or the true purpose of it, for me, it's not sitting down and clearing my mind and having no thoughts and transcending to like the fifth dimension. It's not that for me. It's more of cultivating an authoritative and loving relationship to my thoughts. And we can meditate in a lot of ways. If I'm out for a jog, that's a meditative state. Even sometimes if you're washing the dishes, just doing something methodically, that's still a meditative state. Sometimes being in the shower is a meditative state. Painting, writing, drawing, some people who are singers, those are all meditative states, right? So we can get into these meditative states, but when we meditate, I think it's more of realizing that I am the thinker of my thoughts. I am the observer of my thoughts. Therefore, I am the authority of my thoughts, your big I, your higher self. Because think about it, right? If you can change a thought, if you can choose not to think a thought, if you can choose to think a thought, that means you are in control of the thoughts. You are the authority of it. Where we get tripped up is when we identify ourselves as our thoughts. So if I'm having a thought, I'm not good enough, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too ugly, I'm too this, I'll never and we take those thoughts as the truth of who we are. And if we take those thoughts as our identity as who we are, and we identify, we enmesh with them, then that's when we get into problems. That's when we get into depression. That's when we get into low self-esteem. That's when we get into anxiety. But when you have a healthy detachment and separation and relationship to your thoughts, that these thoughts are just thoughts. They are not who I am. They're just thoughts. They don't have to be the truth of who I am. Because I could think a lot of thoughts, right? I could think, I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am enough. Everything works out for me. Money flows to me. Everybody loves me. My life is so easy. I got this. I can think those thoughts. And I could also think, ugh, I'm ugly. I'm poor. I'm so unlucky. Nothing works out for me. Of course, this happens to me. That's my luck. I'm never chosen. I'm unlovable. I could also think those thoughts. So if I can think multiple thoughts, doesn't that mean that they're just thoughts? They're not actually the truth? Because the truth is, the only thoughts that become the truth is what you, your higher self, your I amness chooses to believe is true. That's why you can change your thoughts. That's why you can think of different thoughts. That's why your beliefs can change, because you are the thinker of your thoughts. And to me, meditation, yes, sitting still, yes, quieting the mind, yes, observing your thoughts, puts you in a position of being the authority, of choosing what thoughts you choose to be the truth of you. Because a lot of thoughts we have even aren't our own. It's something your mom said, your dad said, your sister said, the media said, YouTube said, society said. They're not even what you truly think. There's just what you've been told. And because you never questioned your thoughts, because you never got curious about them, who said this about me? Does this have to be true? Is it true? Do I want it to be true? Or what actually do I want to be the truth of me? Because you are the authority on you. And to me, that's the purpose of meditation. When you get quiet with your thoughts and then you get to observe, well, why do I think I'm too much? Why do I think I'm unlovable? Why do I have those thoughts? And you know what? I don't want those thoughts anymore because I am the thinker and I choose to let those thoughts go. And then I choose to have a different thought. And thoughts that you think on repeat becomes beliefs. And what you believe, your belief system is then what will manifest, made evident in your life. Because life is just reflecting to you what you believe to be true about yourself. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Chocolate Chunk says, I so agree with you on meditation. I tried to clear my mind and failed. I ended up hating it, so I created my own versions. Exactly. Meditation is what you make it to be. I think sometimes with like the wellness and toxic positivity, it's like, oh, meditation, you have to sit down, clear your mind, and become a Buddha monk. And that's not it. Meditation is just really creating an authoritative and loving relationship to your thoughts, to your own mind. So when you find yourself spiraling, being anxious or being depressed or thinking negative thoughts on a loop, you now have built up that muscle of saying, hey, wait a minute, I'm the thinker of my thoughts. My higher self is the thinker of my thoughts. These thoughts are not true for me. One thing I do, if I find myself thinking negative thoughts or bad memories or self-limiting beliefs or anything like that, I say to myself, okay, thought, thank you. You have no power here. I release you to the universe for good. And then I intentionally think a different thought. Do you know what I mean? So if I have a thought, oh, I'm never going to be successful, this is never going to work, blah, 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 I say, okay, thought, thank you. I know in some way you're just trying to protect me, but you have no power here. I release you to the universe for good. And then I choose to believe, I got this. I am successful. I am worthy of this. I got this. Somehow this is going to work out for me. And if I can't even get to that place of thinking the better thought, I just say, thank you. Thank you. Because if you get to gratitude, if you get to appreciation, you'll get there. All right, now let's see. Cruising with Eilena says, I like to lose weight. That's what I'm working on in loving my body. Okay, this is a good one. So let's talk about relationship to body, right? So sometimes what makes losing weight difficult is that we have the mindset, and I'm not saying this is what you have, Elena, I'm just going to speak to it in general, but put down any questions and stuff that you have, is that we think, in order to love my body, I have to look like this. In order to feel sexy, I have to look like this. I have to lose 20 pounds. I have to have thigh gap. I have to have the abs. I have to have the butt. I have to have the stick figure, whatever ideal body type, you want to have. Sometimes we think, in order to be lovable, in order to be beautiful, in order to be sexy, in order to be attractive, in order to love myself, I have to get, quote, there first. And that is what usually keeps us stuck, because it's really hard to get to a place of loving yourself from hating yourself. If you know what I mean? If you hate your body, if you hate yourself, if you're down on yourself, if you don't feel good for yourself, it's really hard to get to love from hate. So the trick is, how do I learn to love myself exactly as I am? That doesn't mean we still don't have goals, that we still don't want to look like X, Y, and Z. That's totally fine. But the trick is, how do I learn to love myself now? Because when you get to the place of, I love myself, no matter what, I am good enough no matter what, I am sexy no matter what, I am hot no matter what, I'm comfortable in my skin no matter what. When you get there, that's when you start to say, I love myself, therefore I take care of myself. And when you start to take care of yourself from a place of love, rather than I need to change myself from a place of hate, your body will naturally start to look and feel its optimal best. And sometimes that optimal best isn't super skinny. Sometimes that optimal best isn't that, Instagram filter hourglass body. Sometimes that optimal best is just, what is the highest level of your unique body? What does your body look and feel like when it is authentically and uniquely at its best? And that looks something different for everybody else. So I think if anybody out there who's like trying to lose weight or anything like that, I think the first step is, how do I learn to love myself now? And a couple ways you do that. One, it's through the affirmations we talked about. I am worthy of my own love. I am deserving of my own love. I am open to learning how to love myself. Also through meditation, sit down, not to clear the mind, but just to say, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to, show me how to love myself. Show me how to be confident in myself. Get quiet and meditate and see what comes up for you. Journal, walk in nature. And then from there, seek help and support, either get like a nutritionist or a coach or a therapist or a trusted friend who you can really trust to talk about your journey to loving yourself. And the more you do things that cultivate a loving relationship to yourself, you're going to eat a little bit better. You're going to drink a little bit more water. You're going to move differently. And you're going to do all those things that naturally will make your authentic body its best self. So I hear you with that, wanting to lose weight. And then also make it fun. Make it fun. I heard this before. I forgot who it was, but someone was saying that they were talking to either like their nutritionist or their, whoever. And they're like, oh, I really want to lose this baby weight or whatever. And the person was like, well, you're already hot now, so you just want to be hotter? And it was like, yeah, you know what? I am hot now. I am beautiful now. I just want to be hotter. And like, wouldn't it be fun if I lost some weight? Wouldn't it be fun if I was my ideal body type? So kind of like taking the pressure off and just making it, I'm already gorgeous. I'm already hot. I'm already beautiful. I love myself. I'm comfortable in my own skin. And now anything else is just cherry on the top. But starting with that relationship of loving yourself as is, self acceptance. And that's about any category, whether it's about, weight, or whether it's about money, or whether it's about lifestyle or relationships. Self acceptance is that magical turning point where everything can change. And it sounds weird because you're like, well, if I just accept myself, then I'm just accepting that I'm accepting the body I don't want. I'm accepting the bank account that's empty. I'm accepting, being single or being in a crappy relationship if I just accept myself. But that's not true, because self-acceptance says, I am worthy, I am lovable, I am enough as I am. Simply because I exist, I'm enough. And I'm okay. That's what self-acceptance is. It's not that I'm going to settle for the circumstances that my life is in. It's not that I'm going to be complicit. It's not that I'm not going to continue to work on my goals. Self-acceptance is, I'm not going to let any circumstance, good or bad, high or low, determine how I feel about me. So whether I have $1 million in the bank account or $1 in the bank account, I'm still good enough. I'm still worthy. Whether I weigh 110 pounds or 210 pounds, I'm regardless of whatever, I'm still enough. I'm still lovable. I'm still that girl. You know? Whether I have a ring on my finger or whether I am single, whether I'm in a crappy relationship or whether I'm in a good relationship, I'm still enough. I'm still worthy. I'm still deserving. I'm still lovable. Whether I live in an apartment, whether I live in a house, whether I ride the bus, whether I drive a Maserati, I'm enough. Because at the end of the day, as human beings, we are all worthy and deserving, and our circumstances do not determine our worthiness. That's what self acceptance is. And then when you get to that place of accepting that nothing outside of me determines my intrinsic value and worth, that's when the magic happens. That's when things start to manifest. That's when things start to change because there's no longer that resistance. That's when you open up flow. Think about relationships, right? It's like when finally you get to the point you're like, you know what? I don't even want you anymore. Boy, bye. When you give it up, isn't that when they come back and they're like, no, I love you. Let's get together. When you let it go, that's when it all comes back. To me, that's really what self-acceptance is. Fentanyl Weed said, Candy, what is Avatar? The movie? I don't know. I don't believe in like Avatar, us human beings. I'm just a divine spirit having a human experience. Cruz Eileen says, but believe it or not, that seeps into all areas of my life. No, of course, that's the thing. It's like that is so true because it's like we are holistic beings, right? We're holistic beings. So even though you could be thriving in one area of your life, when you're not thriving in one area of your life, it can seep and sabotage into other areas, right? So say you're really stressed out at work and then you come home and you're yelling at your family. Say you don't feel confident in your own skin because you're not at peace with your body, then you're not putting yourself out there to find love or whatever the case is. So self-love and self-worth and self-care, it's holistic. It's what is your physical well-being? What is your mental well-being? What is your spiritual well-being? What is your mental well-being, right? Because we are holistic beings, not just one part of us. That's why getting the foundation of self-love and self-acceptance, then that is the foundation from which everything else stems from, right? So if you have a good self-love and you have a good boundary and you're creating good boundaries at work, so now you're no longer stressed out, you're no longer, frazzled at work. Now you can go back home and be present and happy and you're not bringing the baggage because you handled it at work, the 100%. Hey, Tian says, I love meditation. I think people have misunderstanding of what meditation is. Exactly. Fentanyl Weed said, your eyes see, but your brain tells us what you are seeing, meaning your brain manifests a reality even if you are an avatar. Well, this is the thing. For me, for manifestation is how I define manifestation is just to make evident. That's all manifestation is. It's making something evident, making something into the physical world. And manifestation happens across a lot of different ways, right? Like, say, for example, you have a toothache, right? And you have a cavity. The way that the cavity in your tooth is manifesting is through the toothache. That's how it's making itself evident. I'm talking about a very physical, normal thing, right? That's how it makes itself evident. Say you have a pimple, right? And it comes up. It's just making that dirt, that oil that is in your skin evident by pushing itself out. Now you know you have that. That's physical manifestation, right? How does something actually manifest? Say you're really stressed out. You can't see stress. What does stress look like? It can manifest in different ways. Some people get stress migraines. That is stress manifesting. Some people get ulcers. That is stress manifesting. Because you can't say what stress looks like, but it makes itself evident through ulcers, headaches, whatever the case may be. That's just physical manifestation. Let's talk about supernatural, spiritual manifestation to make evident, right? To me, whatever you are, whatever your being is, whatever your belief system is, whoever you believe yourself to be on a divine level, the way it manifests, the way it makes itself evident in our reality is through X, Y, and Z. And let me explain that, right? Say you are cultivating a being of freedom and you just believe I am free. I am free. My life is easy. I love being free. I'm free to do what I want. There's so much abundance around me. And the way that your essence of freedom with a capital F, like that divine essence of freedom, the way that manifests in our physical world is how? Money, right? Because if you think about it, if you really say to yourself, I really want more money in my life. Why do you want more money in your life? What feeling? What do you think that money in your life is going to give you? It is going to give you what? The freedom to buy whatever you want, do whatever kind of work you want to do, buy what home you want to buy what kind of car you want to go on, what kind of trips, the freedom to choose. Money in our physical world is freedom. So when you embody the essence of being free, the divine essence of freedom, the way it manifests, makes evident in our physical world, is money or abundance or other ways that you're free. So you might be thinking, well, I don't have money or I don't have the money I want. So then how am I supposed to feel free? Easy. Easy. This is how I manifested an extra $13,000. I'll tell you this manifestation story. So I'm in a group manifestation mastermind group. I don't know what you call it. I guess that. And my coach gave us an assignment of, practice feeling free. If you want more money in your life, if you want more abundance in your life, practice feeling free. And so what I would do is I would go out on my walks in nature and I would just look up at the sky and I'd be like, wow, there is so much abundance. I feel so free. Like the birds are chirping, the trees are out. I'm walking. In this moment, I am free. And I would just breathe in and I would smile and I would laugh and I would just be like, I am so free. And I would just keep saying that on repeat. I love being free. I love this feeling of freedom. Like I feel so free. There is so much abundance around me. And it had nothing to do with money. What I was doing had nothing to do with money. I knew in my mind my end goal was money because I wanted more freedom. I wanted to be able to, move for the summer as I am now. I'm in Palm Desert. I wanted to be able to move for the summer. I wanted to be able to focus on other creative stuff. So I wanted extra money to come in so I could have the freedom to do whatever I wanted this summer. And so that's what I would do. I would just walk around. I would say, I'm so free. I love being free. I would journal it. I would sketch it out. And it took about maybe like a month or a month and a half, maybe a little bit more. And I was able to manifest an extra $13,000 just by cultivating the feeling of freedom, just by thinking I am free and by really feeling it, because I embodied the divine essence of being free. And the way we experience the divine essence of being free as human beings is by having extra money, by having extra abundance. Think about love. If you cultivate a divine feeling of I am lovable, I love myself, I am worthy and deserving of love, love, the divine essence of love, how does that show up in our life? Whether it's a romantic relationship of love, whether it's the love of a child, whether it's loving what you do, but it's embodying that feeling of this is who I am. And then the world will show you that the way we experience it as human beings. Another way to think about this is we experience this world through our own unique perspective. And the way you manifest, because you're always manifesting, but the way that you manifest intentionally is by choosing the perspective that you have or your own self concept of who you are. That's why, there could be a crime, right? Boom, 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 something happens. And you could have 5 people who witness the same exact crime. And like they always say, if you have 5 people who witness the same exact crime, you're going to have 5 different stories about what happens. Because even though you could experience the same exact thing, we are always experiencing the world through our own unique perspective. And then that will inform our experience of what we're having. So if I walk through the world with the perspective, with the belief or the self concept that everything always works out for me, then no matter what happens, that will be my experience. If I walk through the world of nothing works out for me, I'm so unlucky, I always get the short end of the stick, then no matter what happens, that is what will show up for me. Okay. Now let's see. Tian says, it's okay to have negative, bad thoughts. It's natural. The practice is to address, feel, and release. Exactly, Tian. Fentanyl Weed says, chaos creates change. Cruising with Alina says, I had a baby at 45, 46. I like to be medium again instead of large. Yeah, but I think like we said about the weight stuff, it's just loving yourself now, who you are as is. Yes, you can have like the goals of what you want to hit and achieve, but loving yourself now, like I think for you, what I would say is a good affirmation or a good question or journal prompt would be, what if I was beautiful exactly as I am? What if? What if I was sexy exactly as I am? What if? And write down that as different journal prompts, and write them down. What if who I was already enough? What if I look exactly the way I'm supposed to look? What if this was how I was divinely meant to be? What would that feel like, right? And then we get into that feeling because, wow, like it feels good, right? I look exactly the way I'm divinely meant to be. Wow, what if I'm already sexy? What if I'm hot? That feels good, right? So get into that feeling. That feels like desirability. That feels like confidence. That feels like sexiness, right? So get into that feeling and then let your body show you how it wants to be from that place. If you feel desirable, if you feel sexy, if you feel confident, if you feel good enough, then you'll probably start doing things, that will get you to that quote physical look that you want. Because it's so much easier to get to love from love rather than love from hate. Fatma says flaws are actually special characteristics. What's different is beautiful. It's nature. We are that we are. Exactly. Self-love and reflection is the true Christ. Yes. Tian says at Cruz Atlanta, don't believe in those sizes. I am the healthiest I've ever been and I weigh more and moved up a side. That's another really good point. Don't get caught up on small, medium, large, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number on the scale. Don't get caught up in that. Like one thing I do is I have no idea how much I weigh. I could weigh 100 pounds or I could weigh 200. Like I have no idea what the number is because I don't want to get caught up in a number. One thing I do know is, how do I feel? Do I feel healthy? Do I feel energized? Do I feel whole and fulfilled, And then I get in tune with my body. I just go inward. What do I need right now? Dictate what I need. Am I hungry or am I thirsty? Am I hungry or am I sleepy? I am hungry. Okay, then what do I need to eat? Do I need a little bit of sugar? Do I need some greens and vegetables? Do I need a little bit of dairy? Do I need some meat? And I really get in tune with my own body because I think that's really the healthiest way to be, is to know what is it that you need? What is it that your body needs? These no carb, no blah, 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 all this stuff. Okay, but for who? There's no universal diet that is healthy for everybody. You might get results, but doesn't mean that those are healthy results. Speaking from personal experience, I tried to do like no meat for a while. I was like, I'm not going to eat any meat. And I did that for like a while. And I got these like dark circle under my eyes and I had no energy and I wasn't feeling good and all of that stuff because my body needs meat. Veganism and vegetarianism and all of that isn't healthy for everybody. So I was like, you know what? Screw that. And I went and got a big old burger and I eat meat all the time now because that's what my body needs. And I looked better, I looked healthier, I looked everything because I was actually listening to my body. What is it that I actually needed? So tune into yourself. A good thing to do, you could even journal it out. Get really quiet, light a scented candle, put on some music, whatever you want to do. Get out your journal and just say, get quiet and write out, what is it that my body needs? You could even talk to your body. You can just go inward and say, body, what is it that I need? What are the foods that you want me to eat? What are the drinks you want me to drink? What are the moves you want me to make? Is it yoga? Is it Pilates? Is it running? Is it bodybuilding? Is it whatever it is? Because again, even exercises are different for different people. But really be intuitive. Get in tune with yourself. Because trust me, I've been there. I've done the no carbs, cardio all day, get skinny like a stick figure, super unhealthy, doing every fad diet, and it's just not it. And I just finally got to a place where I was just like, F that. What is it that I need? And I feel like I've never looked and felt better in my life because I stopped trying to look and mold and copy all of these images of people that has been told what beauty is. And I said, I'm just going to choose to be my own beautiful. What does my body look like when I'm listening to it? What does my body feel like when I'm listening to it? What does my body act and move like when I'm listening to it? And then that's how you get to your optimal health. And the most surprising part is you probably end up looking like the way you want it to look like anyway, just in a better way. That now says connect those chakras through meditation. Yup, connect and open and awaken. Hey, Chocolate Chunks says I had twins 4 years ago. Oh, congratulations. After having the body my entire life, I had a sudden weight gain 9 months after my pregnancy ended. I hate it, so I tell myself it's only temporary. Yeah, you can say that too. You can say, this is how my body looks like. Or you could just say, this is how my body looks, and that's okay. I'm choosing to love myself exactly as I am. Because even saying it's only temporary, but looking in the mirror and it's still there, probably on a subconscious level is creating some type of tension. Because you said it yourself. You said, I hate it. So the fact that you are hating your body, and trust me, I've been there. I think if anybody is being honest with themselves, we've all have been there if we're being honest and vulnerable and transparent. So I will be honest and vulnerable and transparent. I've hated my body. Of course. I've been there. So even you saying I hate my body, but yet you're saying it's only temporary, it's not accepting. It's not loving. It's not letting go. So I would even just accept that you hate it. No, just accept, what? I hate my body right now. I gained all this weight. I've had my beautiful twins. I gained this weight suddenly. I hate my body right now. That's how I feel. I hate it. Whew, get it out. And now you say, I now release that hate, or I am open to learning how to let go of hating my body. I am open to learning how to learn my body exactly how it is. And that's going to be different for everybody. That's why journaling and meditating and even prayer is so powerful, because it's not one size fits all. What worked for me may not work for you. So I would get your journal out and I would just say, I hate my body. It is what it is. But I am open to learning how to release that hate. I am open to learning how to love myself exactly how I am. Please show me the way. And then let your own intuition, let your own higher self, let your own inner guiding system speak to you. Because, like I said at the beginning of this, you are the authority on you. So your higher self already knows what you need in order to love yourself, in order to heal yourself, in order to listen to yourself, in order to honor yourself. Like we talked about before, and just like Tian said and Fentanyl said, this work of self-love, is not about being critical or not critical, but like that toxic positivity, right? Or even like sometimes people in like the law of attraction, it's toxic sometimes, because they're like, you can't have a negative thought, you can't think negatively, you can't blah blah blah, it's gonna manifest all the negativity in your life. And it's like, no, calm down, everybody, chill, relax. We're human beings. We're going to have negative thoughts. Sometimes we're going to hate things about ourselves. Sometimes we're going to hate things about our lives. That's just life. We don't have to be fearful of it. We just don't have to let it overtake us. We just can't forget that we are bigger and we are stronger, and we are not our fears and we are not our hate. So sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is accept the things about yourself that you hate and acknowledging it. I'm not in the toxic positivity space. Miss me with that. We're human beings. And a lot of times denying our negative thoughts, denying that we actually do hate some things about ourselves, is sometimes the most toxic thing you can do for yourself. Because the most freeing thing you can do for yourself is truly be who you are authentically. And sometimes your authentic self is just like, you know what? I hate the fact that I gained this weight. I hate the fact that I don't have this money in the bank. I hate the fact that I'm in this shitty relationship, right? And sometimes you need to accept that hate to finally get to the place where you are ready to change, right? Cruising with Alina says, thank you, Candy. You're welcome, sweetheart. Chocolate Chunk says, my mobility has been affected, so finding ways to lose weight has been a challenge, but I'm doing it anyway. Yes, Chocolate Chunks, you got this. You got this. And honestly, a lot of it sometimes is just even like a mental game. Like I'll speak just from personal experience. I gained weight during the pandemic and I was doing everything I could to lose it. And then when I moved, it just kind of went whoosh. It just sort of like the whole layers kind of fell off. Didn't eat differently, didn't exercise differently. It was literally just an energetic thing. It was an energetic block. That always says, sometimes self-acceptance includes accepting others' flaws as well as your own. Well, that's not self-acceptance. That's acceptance of others. Self-acceptance is you accepting you. That's what self-acceptance is. I accept myself. Acceptance of others is a whole different ballgame. Then Alweed says, the bad you see in others is a self-reflection. Sometimes, but not all the time. Because again, I think sometimes that can get a little bit into toxic area. If I think that every single time I see bad or I see something in another person, that means it's bad in me. Ugh, you know what I mean? That's a lot. Because sometimes, no, it really just is you, boo-boo. I'm not going to take on everybody else's disrespect, bad behavior, trauma, this, that, and the third as a reflection of me, because that's not true. That's a reflection of them. Where self-awareness comes in, and this is what is key. Self-awareness and also discernment comes in is this a projection or reflection of me? Or is this a reflection of who this person is? That's where self-awareness and discernment comes in. Because I'm not taking on everybody's bad behavior. Somebody doing something out there is not me. Mm-mm. Do I project? Sometimes, of course, all people do. Is sometimes people a mirror to me? Sometimes relationships are showing me what I need to heal in myself, what I need to work on in myself, what I need to do in myself. Yes, of course. But not all the time and not everybody. So it's having that level of self-awareness. Is this about me or is this about them? Chocolate Chunk says, this is a much needed conversation, what self-acceptance truly means. Exactly. Like, I accept myself, flaws, warts, and all. And I also accept myself as the bad, amazing queen that I am. I accept all of myself. So no matter what is happening, I'm worthy, I am deserving, I am enough, I am lovable, I am divine, I am all of those things, no matter what. Whether I live in an apartment or a house or a car, whether I have $1 million, $0, $100, whether I'm in a relationship, single, married, whatever. Nothing outside of me has the power to determine my intrinsic divine value and worth. That is what self-acceptance is. This is who I am, and I accept myself for that. Cruising with Alina says, wow, Candy, that resonates. Good. I'm happy. Tian says, mind, body, soul. Exactly. Fentanyl Weed says, it's definitely about belief. Yes. Oh, yes. It's like what Queen Oprah says. I know some people feel a type of way about Oprah. I personally love Oprah. But like she says, and like a lot of people say, you don't get what you want. You get what you believe you can have. Because there's a lot of people who want a lot of things. I want $1 million. I want to be married. I want to be single. I want this body. I want this, people want a lot of stuff all day long, but they don't actually believe that they are the person who can have it. And what you believe to be true for yourself, think about your belief system. It's like a kaleidoscope. Remember earlier we were talking about perception, right? To me, your belief system is the kaleidoscope. And at the end of it is your perspective lens. So whatever your belief system says, whatever your perspective is, that's how you see the world, through that kaleidoscope. So you could sit here and want something all day long. But if you don't believe it to be true for you, if you don't believe that you are the person who is worthy and deserving of it, then you're just going to sit here and wish and want all day long. You know? And it's a beautiful thing, actually. It should be empowering. That's why you have people who go from homeless to millionaires. That's why you have people who go from millionaires to homeless. Do you know what I mean? Because it's what is your belief system. And belief systems can change. And that is what is so powerful. And the way you change your belief system is like we talked about with meditation, getting curious about your thoughts. Why do I believe that? Why do I think that? Then deciding, is this the truth of who I am? No. Releasing it and then deciding, I am choosing that this is the truth of who I am. And then continuously make that choice, continuously think those thoughts. And then the more because a belief is nothing but a thought that you continuously hold to be true. That's all a belief is. It's a thought you continuously hold to be true. That is your belief. I could sit here all day and be like, I believe the sky is red. 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 That is my belief. The sky is red. 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 All day long, I could think that and believe that. And then one day I could wake up and be like, oh, you know what? You guys are right. The sky is blue. It's crazy. Hey, Joe W. Hi, Candy. This live has been fantastic and full of knowledge. Thank you. You're welcome. How can we show up authentically in friendships? I instinctively people please and try to fit in, but people enjoy me as myself. Oh, this is a great, great question. This is a great question. The way you show up authentically in friendships is cultivating your authentic self in general, because we tend to be, who we are is who we are is who we are. So I think in friendships, first start out by saying, what type of friend do I want to have? Because I think the reason why we don't show up authentically in friendships is because we are so desperate. And I don't mean you're desperate, but you know what I mean. We're so desperate to be liked. We're so desperate to be included. We're so desperate to be chosen that we think I have to mold myself or tone down or hype up myself, just not be myself in order to be liked and chosen by this group of friends. Rather than coming to the table and saying, just like in dating, is this a person that I would choose to be friends with? So I would first get very clear on what are the qualities of a friend that you want, and make sure that the people you're seeking out friendships with have those qualities. Are they genuine? Are they loyal? Are they trustworthy? Do they inspire you? Are they people who you can go to for advice and support and guidance, or making sure it's not based on gossip and drama and chaos and this, that, and the third. So I would first get very, very clear on what are the qualities and attributes of a friend that I want, and make sure that those people have that. Then, to show up as your authentic self, just work on your own self-worth and your own self-love, knowing that you're enough, knowing that you're worthy and valuable, having healthy boundaries with people. Because when you have that foundation of self-worth and a foundation of authenticity, then that's how you show up in all relationships, whether it's with your coworkers, whether it's with friends, whether it's with someone you're dating. When the core of who you are is a place of, I'm enough, I am worthy, I am deserving, I am cool, I am confident in my own skin, it's safe for me to show up as my authentic self. There's nothing for me to prove, right? There's nothing for me to prove. I accept myself as I am. When that is the foundation and core of who you are, then you start to attract people who also have a very similar core. So then you feel safe, you feel okay, you feel comfortable showing up as your authentic self. And when you have that as your core, you show up like that in all relationships. So you'll start to show up like that in your friendships too. I also think a way to show up authentically in friendships is, really be mindful. Say everyone's like, oh, where do you guys want to go to dinner? And like, you really want to go to this new restaurant, but you don't want to like say where you want to go. You want to defer it to somebody else. In those moments, think, how can I really show myself in this moment? How can I show up more fully? Oh, guys, let's go to this new Thai restaurant I really want to go to, rather than just deferring to the group so that they'll like you and think that you're the easy breezy friend, right? So find those moments of, where am I? And it actually goes back to the journal prompt I said at the beginning of this. Where am I saying yes when I would really like to say no? And also flip it. Where am I saying no when I would really like to say yes? So you can do that and assessment that with your friends. In my friendship group or with certain friends, where am I saying yes to them when I really want to say no? And when am I saying yes to things that I don't actually want to do when I want to say no? And when am I saying no when it's really a yes for me? And just getting clear on that. So that's what I would say. Tian says scientifically, stress levels release cortisol, which could hold on to the fat cells. Exactly. Exactly. We talk about, spirituality and manifestation, but it also goes in with like nature and science as well. The more negative, the more stress, the more hate you're holding on to, the more resentment you have, the harder it's going to be to allow flow, whether it's the flow of losing weight, whether it's the flow of having money flow in. The more you're holding on and the more it's like this, the harder it's going to be to allow flow, to allow magic, to allow miracles, to allow ease into your life. Chocolate Chunk says, exactly, it's how I gained the weight. Baby, sleep deprivation, relationship, family struggles. I was eating salads twice a day, breastfeeding, and yet I was gaining weight. Exactly, Chocolate Chunks. That's what we were saying before. It's energetic. That's why you have some people, sure, people can say, oh, it's genetics. But what is genetics? Nothing but energy manifesting differently in different people. It's all genetics really is. Also based on a belief system. That's why genetically things run in families, right? If your parent say you had two parents who are really thin, they probably have the belief system, oh, we can eat whatever we want and never gain weight. This is just how we are. So if, say, they have a child who's also really thin, they have that belief system, I can eat whatever I want and never gain weight because that's how we are, right? Yes, you pass on genetics in families, but you also pass on belief systems in families. And that's stronger and more powerful than anything else you can pass on is belief systems, right? So that's like we're saying, you were eating salads and breastfeeding and you were gaining weight. Same thing with me over the pandemic. I was working out like crazy every single day. I was eating salads every single day and I still just felt big and swollen and just not myself and gaining weight. That didn't even feel like weight. It was just like, whoa, And then it wasn't until I physically moved and made the decision to move that it just like washed away. Just washed away, because it was energy, it was energetic, it was spiritual, it was mental, it was all of those things. So I hear you, Chocolate Chunks, and I would just say continue to eat healthy for yourself, continue to look after your babies, get as much help as you can in any type of schedule, and any relationship, family relationship that is causing you stress and strife. Take a break from it if you can in a safe way that you can. Just take a break. There are some people in my family that I personally no longer talk to because they are toxic. And there's that toxic belief that just because somebody is your family member, they somehow deserve a spot in your life. And that's simply not true. Tian says at Chocolate Chunks, your hormones also change with age and pregnancy. My sister had to see a specialist to get her hormones on track. She was able to drop weight and her hair grew back. That's also a very good point, Tian. A very good point. Chocolate Chunks says, thank you for the reminder to get my blood work done. That's right. And Tian says, no problem. That's right. Get your blood work done, work on your hormones and everything else. You guys, this has been amazing. This has been so special. We are going to be doing more of these. Ask me anything on self-love, self-care, relationships, and manifestation. This has been great. Shout out to everybody who chimed in. Chocolate Chunks, Tian, Fentanyl Weed. Who else was up in here? Joe W, Cruising with Eilena. Everybody, thank you so much. Let's see. Chocolate Chunk says, yes, cut ties with all the narcissistic, toxic people recently. It's the only way to truly heal. Exactly. Taking care of yourself. And we can do a live on that too. Taking care of yourself. This is one thing that really helped me heal. When I got very clear that my well-being physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally was my first and best priority. And I got really clear on that. And that I was going to protect that at all costs. That's when my life fundamentally changed. Because that's really, in my personal opinion, the secret to happiness, the secret to life is learning, remembering that you matter the most. Not in a selfish way, not in a narcissistic way, not in any of those negative blah, blah, blah ways, but in a very divinely intrinsic, spiritual way, God, universe, divinity, whatever you want to call it, they gave you your life to live abundantly and happily and joyfully. So the best way you can show gratitude to God or to whoever or to whatever you believe in is to take the best care of the life that they gave you, right? Think about a parent and a child. What is the best way for your child to show gratitude to you? Isn't it for your child to be fulfilled and to be happy and to be joyful and to be the highest expression of themselves? Isn't that what every parent wants for their child? I'm talking about healthy, genuine, unconditional love. You want your child to be the happiest, healthiest, most fulfilled version of themselves they can be. So isn't that what your creator or whatever you believe in, whatever you want to call it, isn't that what they want for you? So I will leave us with that. Know that you are worthy, you are enough, you are valuable exactly as you are. Exactly as you are. And the best way for you to show gratitude to your life is to be happy. Whether it is cutting ties with toxic people, whether it is learning to love your body from the inside out, whether it's meditating, whether it's journaling, whether it's moving your body, whatever it is, do something that brings you joy, that brings you peace, that brings you happiness, that is just for you, not in service of anything or anybody else. That is just for you. One thing you can also do, and then I'll let everybody go. And I love doing this, is I ask myself, and I forget the name of the person, whoever the author is, it's a fantastic book. It's a book and it's also an audiobook. It's called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depended on It. One thing that he teaches is this question of just going inward and say, if I truly loved myself, what would my next right step be? That is something you can say and ask yourself. I do that all the time throughout the day. I get quiet, I get still, and I just go, if I truly loved myself, and then you can say anything. If I truly loved myself, what is it that I would like to eat? If I truly loved myself, what would I like to watch? What would I like to do? What would I like to say? What would my next step be? What is it that I truly need? You can get that inner guidance for anything that you want. If I truly loved myself, what would my next XYZ be? This has been so good. All right, you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me and asking your great questions and all of your questions. We will be doing way more of these. I'll still be doing my pop culture stuff, but I don't know, my soul is just needing a little bit of break from all of that. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of these sessions, these self-care, self-love, relationship, manifestation, spirituality. I'm going to be doing a lot more sessions like this. Pop culture is great, but I need a personal spiritual break from the mess for a while. So we'll be doing more of these. As always, if you guys need additional support, link down below is my Soft Life with Candy Washington podcast. It's free, so go ahead and subscribe and listen to that. I have over 100, nearly 200 episodes with interviews and solo episodes and all of this stuff. We also have the Journey to Self-Love Journal. We have our Patreon community and a lot in courses. I have manifestation and self-love courses down below and all of that. So if you feel so inclined, subscribe, like, and share. Join our newsletter that is also free, and you get a free self-love guide with that as well. So with that, everybody, I love you. Take care of yourself and each other, and I will see you all next time. Bye. Welcome to The Soft Life with me, Candy Washington, where we explore all things self-love, manifestations, and relationships with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. So be sure to subscribe, share, and join us on Patreon.